Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got the J, which is a good scoring tile, but nothing great on offer with this rack. I'd like to play off the F or the M, but I can't see a way of playing either of them with the J. However, what I could do is play Mofo for 18, retaining the J, and I'm putting the vowels next to premium squares because my J will score well on one of them should it remain available. Just the one vowel. And I've got a similar problem in that I've got two high scoring tiles in the F and the P, which it's going to be difficult to play off with the J. So not a great start. But I do have J plays. I have Jet, just the one, I think. Now, what about playing off the F with the P? Not very synergetic tiles. Well, I guess I've got FOP, which retains the E. But not a huge amount on offer at the moment. I've got Jog through the O's. That might be worth doing. It does retain the E and scores over 20 points. I've got Polje, Polje, which doesn't score a huge amount. Okay, well, only 16 points, which is good. But my O's have gone. So I've got Jet for 19 points, keeping 4 consonants, including the F and the P. Not good. My F can go underneath IF. So I've got Felt. Do I have anything coming in from the left-hand side? Can't see anything. So Felt for 21, 3 consonants better than 4. So I'm going with this. Great, I have 2 vowels. But still a long way from a bingo. Felt takes a Y after it. Row H quite hot above the T, running across to the triple word square. That will provide floaters, but floaters are most useful when you're close to a bingo. Wow, 102 points for my opponent. Pretty good. So what can I do? No great J spots have appeared. Jiff is good, but nothing goes in front of low or toe. Now I've got Gitya, and I think I'll play it. 36 points, decent score, decent rack lead. Obviously, column 15 is dangerous, but score and rack lead are more important. A better looking rack. I can't see a 7 here. Do I have anything through the A? Can't see anything. I've got the dis prefix. What about the T? The T looks like it goes well with this rack. But I can't see anything. I'm 40 points behind and my opponent on turn. and there are some pretty good scoring spots in columns 14 and 15. Gitjar has opened up row M, but not many tiles go underneath the G, so it's not a great opening. If and only if only takes a Y at the end. And the front hooks are pretty redundant given the lack of tiles which go in front of low or toe. 33 points, could have been worse. Gitjar did at least have the advantage of covering the double letter square. Now, opponent has provided an E. Does that help? Well, this rack makes spheroid through an E. Does it make anything else? Can't see anything. And opponent is 70 odd points ahead. Valve does take a number of front 3-letter extensions. I can think of univalve and trivalve. Do I have anything with this rack? I don't think so. So how to keep the board open without providing great spots for my opponent? I'm still looking at the T of Gitjar. It looks pretty good. Can't see anything. And this S is pretty useful. So I'd like to keep that available. So if I keep the S, T and E available, how do I develop the board? Possibly playing down from the M. I could play Morph. Just wondering if I've actually got a bingo through the M. Lit takes an S in front. Dismorph I don't think is good. Now Morph uses a lot of good tiles, so what about playing Mop? This is quite a good rack leave. And although Mop takes an E, a play in row K is likely to provide floaters. Only 13 points. Pretty poor. Now what about playing from the T? I think this is going to be better. Thrid. 39 points and a decent rack leave, and I'm keeping the S and the E available, and I'm generating new floaters. The only sacrifice is the floating T of Gitjar. So I think I'll go with this. Great. I draw the first blank, and the rest of the tiles are bingo-y with no duplicates. So what do I have? I've got soaping as a 7, so soapings may be good. It's not. What about a play ending with E? I've got the AGE ending. Can't see anything immediately. What about a play ending in D? G and P don't go well together. So there may not be as many bingos here as you might expect. I haven't seen any yet. I've got the O and the I for going underneath the G for a 7-letter play ending in that tile. But I'm sure there will be playable bingos here. Floating S also useful. So let me see what comes to mind. Just 13 points for my opponent, which is great. So if I can bingo now, I'll go into the lead. Posigrade through R and E. And I'm keeping in mind the S and the D and the I and the R. Igopose, I think, is without the E. 14 minutes on my clock. Esophagi, beginning with an E. That looks promising. Just not seeing anything. And I've got the ISM ending. That's soaping. Still not seen anything. And it's quite hard keeping all of the different floaters in mind. So, how long do I keep looking? Let me consider the individual floaters. So what about the S? Mainly useful as the ending of a 7-letter word. Well, I certainly haven't seen any of those, apart from soaping. Soaping doesn't play in row M. How likely is a bingo ending with D? Well, I've got the oid ending, the ed ending. Not seeing anything there. What about the I? I don't think that's particularly useful. What about the R? Well, that does look useful. Not seen anything. Row N also available, but not available for soaping. "12 minutes on the clock. Do I have one more look through the alphabet?" I really do feel there is something here. The bio prefix. ISO prefix. Spagheroid through the right floaters. Maybe there isn't something here. That's the esophagi rack. Another rack which has some synergy. So gallopins through an N. Opposing through a P. Okay, I think I'm going to abandon this search for a bingo. The only other one to consider is the M. So ISM, Pago and a blank. Not seeing anything. Well, that's disappointing. I thought there would be something there. Just looking at the R and the T. I'm not spending time looking for that. So, how to sort this rack out? The best way of sorting it out would have been to bingo. Just looking for a play in row M, but too many consonants to overlap. I'd like to get rid of, say, the G and the O, or the P and the O. How can I do that? I can play topi. Doesn't feel great, only 12 points. But I'm going with it. Okay, this looks another tricky rack. Wagtails through a T or a W. Opponent plays Quiner, blocking the floaters in thread. So the S is the most useful floater. Scaglias, I think. Let me see if this is good. Yes, it is. Fantastic. So I don't have to waste time. I can get this down and move on. Scaglias for 66. And I draw the second blank, and I'm just 8 points behind. And there could be a bingo here. Henny Quen through an H or a Q. The M still available. Close to Meunier. Quiner takes nothing in front. Just 8 minutes on my clock and 39 tiles to come. Now, are there any 7-letter lanes on this board? Not really. Just for bingos ending with a Y or an O or an I or a U. So, do I have endgame? Yes, I do. Ah, that ends with an E. Okay. So, the S is the most useful floater. Do I have a bingo with this rack and an S? And column 15 is available for bingos ending IND. That's not helpful this turn. So the S is a useful floater. I've got the un prefix and the uni prefix. 14 minutes on my opponent's clock, 8 on mine. That's ingenues. And unseeing. I have unseeing through the S. Great. Let me see what else comes to mind. There's quite a good chance that will be blocked. Julien through an L. So just unseeing at the moment. And ingenue as a 7, which doesn't play. Hennequin through an H. Neurine. Okay. Wow, look at that. Unseeing, not blocked. And I'm inclined to play it quickly because I'm short on time. And I don't think there'll be much else which is better. So unseeing 66. Fantastic. That is a great rack. There may not be a bingo here, but it's a very well balanced rack. And it's got the Z. And I've got a 40-point lead. So I've got Zatti in row H. DI takes nothing in front. Not a huge number of Z spots coming to mind. Nothing massive. I've got Moz down from the M. Tsardams through a D. Am I sure there's no 7 here? Smorzato through an O. Very few floaters on this board. The G for a bingo ending Y. The P for a play ending O or AP. Row M still available for 7-letter bingos ending O. Now, still one D to come. It would be pretty lucky if my opponent provided that. So at the moment, I quite like Zatti. A couple of floaters to consider. 8 minutes on my clock. Anything with the C? Don't think so. I've got Tsar, but that doesn't score very much. And there's nothing with the R. No I for column 15 plays ending I. Do I have a 6-letter play beginning R blank Z? Close. I have razors and razor. A lot of E's to come, so I don't really like razor. I prefer Zatti. But can I do better than Zatti? Only 39 points. It would be nice to get more with the Z. Just looking again at this R to see if I can get the M and the Z tripled. I would need an I for Zyram. I think I will play Zatti. Just pausing in case I've got an MZ play ending I, and I don't. Rackley, pretty good. Zatti for 39. Okay, not bad. The H is quite useful with the C, although I can't see a bingo immediately. I don't think cash room is good. Can't see anything with the R. Can't see anything with the Z or the A. 7 minutes on my clock, 22 tiles to come, and I've got a 57-point lead. Still 4 eyes to come for column 15 plays, and I'm mainly looking at 6-letter plays rather than bingos because they're more likely. Still looking at the C in case there's a bingo through it. Looks quite nice, but that's because the C goes well with the H, but I'm not seeing a bingo. The U not available. My M can go in front of the U, so I'm now looking for scoring spots for my H and my M, and I'd like to play off one or both O's, still 3 to come. Although 1O goes quite nicely with the C. 25 points for my opponent, and he takes out some floaters. Do I keep these floaters available? I don't think so. Because my rack's pretty good. I've got Abmo. But I think that's just too nice a spot in column 1. I don't want to play Ohm. And HU is not good. Quite a tricky position. I was pleased when I saw this rack, but it's an awkward one. I don't have any EHM words. Pav is good. App isn't. 6 minutes on my clock. Abmo can't be the play. Oda is good. Not the right time to have a rack which needs a lot of thought. I'm looking at a play which goes through the R, which gets the H and the M doubled. Can't see one. Five minutes on my clock. My takes a C. This is a very tricky spot. And I don't want to mess up my good work in getting back into this game with a suboptimal play. I don't think Horm is good. No, it's not. MOHR doesn't get the M or H tripled. Only 4 minutes on my clock. I need to do something. Well, what about just burning tiles? Chromo for 16. Now, quite good. I get the X. I'm not sure of any 2-letter extensions to Chromo. Possibly Chromoid, but I don't have those tiles, so I'm not going to worry about that. The X can go in front of the U. So I've got Sax or Axe. The X can also go underneath the O's of Chromo. I don't have to play off the B with the X because the B's a useful scoring tile. And what's happened to the final Y? Has my opponent played that? Yes, he did with Bonnie, so that took out the if and only if hook and the dar spot. Nothing goes after Niddy. Mix is good. One is good. So EXA, that's where the story ends. XA not good. So wax and racks. I'm just pondering about playing sax or axe, but sax has the risk of a K play, and my lead is only 20 odd points, which isn't huge. Nine tiles in the bag. Sax 38, pretty good, and a pretty good rack leave. And I think this is better than playing just axe, because just axe would allow quite a lot of front hooks. This is only really dangerous if my opponent has got the K, and even then it's not absurdly dangerous given that this scores 38 points. I don't draw the K, so we could well see that coming down now. I do still have the B for score. Mib is good. Can't see anything great across there, just BE. So this isn't a great rack, too many vowels, and there's still vowels to come. 7 vowels out of 13. But I do have a 67-point lead. I guess if my opponent doesn't play at the top, I will, to remove the K danger. Possibly a 40 or 50-point play there, which will make the endgame really tight. A double B is good, so I can play beg. That would be quite nice, giving nothing away. I could play bigot, which does give a little bit away, but sorts the rack out. But that's partly going to depend on the number of tiles in the bag. At the moment there are 6, but it's my opponent on turn. I think if he's got a K, he would have perhaps played the row A spot by now. Well, he doesn't, but he takes it out, which is fine. Only 24 points, 3 tiles in the bag, and I think that makes this play quite easy. Beg for 26, leaving 1 in the bag. 3 minutes on my clock, so I don't have to rush into this. What about B and Mib? 23 points, well, Beg scores more. I don't want to play bigot, because that would empty the bag. That's the reason. 2 minutes on my clock. So I'm going with beg. I draw the K, which is good because it's a scoring tile and the only scoring tile I have. And the remaining tiles pretty bingo-y. Very bingo-y. Slightly vowel heavy though, and there's a shortage of bingo lanes on this board. Row M still available for bingos ending in an O. But I think I can survive that. It would be face value. Well, it would be close because my lead is only 69 points. 8 minutes on my opponent's clock. DAC is good, but I can't get that to score twice. I need to look around and find some candidate plays because I've only got 2 minutes on my clock. Can't see any chromo plays or any candidate chromo plays. I don't think chromos is good. I'm not even going to check that. Do I have a play? Okay, so only 24 points. I can see what my opponent's got. He's only got 5 tiles left, so no more bingos in this game. I've got a 40-point lead. I should be able to see this out. Mix is good. I can't see any good plays in the top right. I do need to play my K off. Can my opponent go out? He's got Wania. Let me just check that. Yes, he's got Wania. Has he got a second out? Possibly through the D. Anyway, only 1 minute on my clock. Wania doesn't score very much, so I don't have to block that. I can play KO for 14 points. Can I do better than that? 1 minute on my clock. I can play... Oh, well, I can play Aki, which is 18 points, and it takes out the Wania danger. And if my opponent can't go out, I think I've got a reasonable chance of finding somewhere on the board with this rack. And even if I don't, it's a balanced rack. I'm going with this. So, if my opponent doesn't go out, can I go out? I've got Eros on my rack. Can't see anywhere for that. And Saw. Geos is good, but I don't have an eye for going after the Q. No plays in row D. What about Swordy? I don't think it's good. Nope. I don't have anything for going above the G. Possibly a play through E and A, but that would be very vowel heavy. I've got an O for going in front of the W, but I don't have a 5-letter play ending P. I don't think I can go out with this rack. Just looking in column 12 through the H or the H and the T. Can't see anything there. Can't see anything between W and A. 18 points for my opponent, 1 minute on my clock. So where can my S play? I could play So and Wises. I've got a 45-point lead. Opponent will be going out. Can I do better than So and Wises? Rio's also on my rack. Well, what about a play through the E? S-O-E, can't see anything. Now, what about Nosa? Yes, fantastic. There was an out at the end. Only just saw that with 19 seconds left. And the final score, 350 to my opponent, 414 to me, a winning margin of 64 points. And I smashed through the 1900 mark in terms of my rating. So, fantastic game, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first. Jolt keeping FOM. Yeah, possibly better than FOMO, but look at this. Jomo also good, and I think Jomo would have been my choice. FLT does have some synergy, so that was a miss from the get-go. Opponent has bingos, doesn't play them. Okay. Now I have a poor rack. GIF for 17. Again, I think I may have played that if I'd seen it. I think it's significantly better than Felt. It gives less away, and it retains the E. Opponent's rack, he's got a choice of bingos and plays Scattery, which created all the problems in the game because this gave him a good lead, and I was in the position of needing to claw my way back with a very non-bingo-y rack. I play Gitchar for 36, which I think is the play. Opponent plays Valve. Now, did I miss a bingo here? No, I didn't. Fantastic. And Thorpe was playable. I played Thrid, but Thrip and Thorpe would both have been better. Better scores, better rack leaves. Opponent plays Wipe. Now, surely I missed a bingo here. But how many? None. Wow. This is a move I spent an eternity on. No bingo, and look at that, only one score over 20. So no wonder this was a problem rack. And my play of Topi really doesn't look too bad compared to these. I think Gov would have been the play though. Opponent's rack. He plays Quiner. Now I have something. I have Scaglias. I got that down quite quickly because of the time spent on previous moves. But a choice of bingos there. Opponent's rack. He plays Jude. And now this is really, really good. And pretty lucky. A back-to-back bingo is always lucky. But it's great to have them. And I had Unseeing. Opponent, wow, that's tricky to see. He has Ko and Yuri, doesn't play it. Where does that go? M4. Yeah, making GI. This is my rack. I play Zati. Zori also available in the same spot, and possibly better because the A is a better vowel than the O, and there are more O's to come than A's. So I play Zati. Opponent plays Bonnie. Homo, A3. Yeah. And a nice leave of R's. That's quite good. What did I do? Chromo for 16. Yeah, Chromo did take out 2 useful floaters. And not only does it take out 2 floaters, it takes out the only floaters on the board. So I think Chromo does have some merit. Homo would have scored a bit more, but would have provided a good scoring spot in row A and kept 2 floaters open. So I think Chromo has merit. Opponent plays Nidi. And now, this was my rack. Yeah, all of these candidate plays where I played. So I play Sax for 38. And I still like that. As you can see, opponent does not have the K. He plays Wise. And I play Beg. Opponent plays Geo. N10. Co-op. Okay, I'm not a fan of that. The opponent does have Wania. So I block that with a key. And look at that, he doesn't have an out. So Wania was the only out, in which case Aki was definitely the play, or the best play would certainly have been one which blocked that. I'm not sure, there may have been others. Alternatives to Aki. Opponent plays Rind. And finally, the outs were Noza, which I saw with seconds to spare, but also Ogres, K10. Down from the G. I didn't even think about using that line. Okay, so a couple of outs. Noza, the highest scoring one. And that was the end of the game. So, pretty exciting stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.